words do you use? Do you think about the power of the words you use? What about if I say you're cute, or you're funny, or you're sexy, or you're crazy, or you're stupid, or you're a pain? Think about how different those words make you feel. Of course, they have different meanings, but think about the power of the words you use. Stop and think right now about the words you use to talk about yourself. What words do you use to describe yourself? And more importantly, for right now, what words do you use to describe the way you speak? What words do you use when you talk about your English? How do you describe your abilities? How do you describe the story of how you learned and how you're learning? And what's the story that you tell yourself and others? Hi, if you don't know me yet, I'm Maureen Turnbull-Arvelo, and I'm the founder of Prepare Integrative Language Coaching. And it's such a pleasure to talk with you today. I work with people to empower and inspire them to cross the many borders of language and of culture that can but do not have to separate us. And last week we talked about the vibration of words, how some words and some things we say can integrate material. Literally, this is scientifically proven, and how others disintegrate. And so really we can see the power of that energy and the vibration that words and music as well create. And today I want to talk in a larger sense about the power of words. And I want us to think again and to stop and bring some consciousness to the words that we use when we talk about ourselves, and more importantly, when we talk about our abilities and our stories of language learning. So really, I guess now I've taught English for over 10 years now, way over 10 years now. And I got to tell you that the majority of the people that when they tell me about their English learning journey don't have very positive stories to tell. They tell me about how in school they were learning and it wasn't very fun. Oh, English is so boring. Oh, my teacher was so mean to us. Oh, it's just so hard for me. It's very rare. I'm trying to think. It's very, very rare that I talk to somebody that has really good things to say. Really good things to say about what happened with them to get to the point that they're at now and what's happening now. For the most part, I hear quite negative things. And I want you to stop and think right now about your story. What do you tell other people? And what do you tell yourself about where you are? What has brought you to this point and how you are speaking, how you're understanding, listening, writing, total, everything. What is that picture now? I would venture to say, sadly, that picture is not so positive. Of course, we always have the power. There's something about the glass half full, the glass half empty. Well, this is a water bottle, but we could say it's closer to empty than it is to full. But of course, I could say there's a little water in it, or there's almost no water in it. Both are correct. One paints a much more positive picture than the other. And it might seem just like semantics. Maybe it doesn't seem like it's that important which one we use. But I want to pose to you today how important that language is to our brain and the ways we think of ourselves. If you tell me that your English, if you still have a lot to learn, or if you tell me you know a lot, both are correct. Both explain and can explain the same level of knowledge. But which is more empowering? If you tell me that you can say a lot of things, or you still need to learn a lot, which is more empowering? If you tell me that you have an accent or that you're trying to lose your accent. If you tell me that you speak pretty well or you speak well, who decides whether you are fluent or you're kind of fluent or you speak pretty well or you speak well? Of course, other people will make that decision, but they're going to accept what you tell them. So if you tell me that you speak pretty well, I'm going to think, oh, he speaks pretty well. If you say, yeah, I speak English really well, I'm going to think you speak a lot better than if you tell me pretty well. You give yourself and you give others the ideas that then create who you are. I want you to think about that. How much those words replay in your head and how much you believe them and other people believe them and how much your body reflects them. When I say I'm feeling good, I move in a different way than I say, oh, I'm not feeling very good. Of course, when I'm not feeling very good, usually my body doesn't feel very good. But if I say right now, it's true, my throat hurts a little bit. If I say, my throat hurts a little bit, it's going to hurt even more, really. If I say, oh, I'm getting over this cold, it's different than I might be getting this cold. And I know that this seems very, I don't know. Sometimes I don't think that these things seem like I'm just talking, it's just words. Words are not just words. Words have the power to change people, change worlds, change lives, and change you. So I want you to stop and think this week about the words that you use to describe yourself, your story, and others. And to really reflect on those. And to ask yourself if those are the most appropriate words, if those are the most empowering words, and if those words are creating your current situation. If your current situation isn't exactly where you want it to be, well, can you use more empowering words? Can you talk about the world in a more empowering, positive, and optimistic place? Doesn't mean that you have to be unrealistic. No. But we choose the way we see things. So try to see things in a glass half full way instead of a glass half empty. Let's try that together this week. Tell me how it works. Tell me what you find out. Tell me if it's difficult, if it doesn't feel real, if it doesn't feel genuine. Write on that too. Share with us that. But let us know if this makes a difference in the way you feel, in the way you express yourself, in the way you understand and tell your story. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me today. Thanks so much for being here with me today. It's such a pleasure to talk with you. Much light, much love. All the very, very best this universe has to offer. See you next week. Ciao, ciao.